This long-awaited burst of Ichikawa's unique style made me think, this is amazing. Ichikawa Saw's criticism of the Asahi Shimbun has sparked controversy. The mention of death row inmate Yumatsu Satoshi, who committed the Sagamihara massacre, is Ichikawa Saw's criticism of the Asahi Shimbun has sparked controversy. Ichikawa Saw, who shocked society with her novel Hunchback, recently made headlines with her article for the Asahi Shimbun. After all, her harsh criticism of the Asahi Shimbun company was in print. I read it in the September 4th issue and thought, this is amazing. At this long-awaited burst of Ichikawa's unique style, and the full article was later published on Asahi Shimbun Digital. What's more, it's available to read for free, not on a paid site. I really hope many people read it. The word coexistence stolen. Ichikawa Saw's thoughts on dialogue without disabilities. Asahi Shimbun. Moreover, the Asahi Shimbun appears to have responded quickly to this criticism, publishing the following article headlined, in response to Ichikawa Saw's comments. Strengthening efforts for coexistence. In response to Ichikawa Saw's comments on the Asahi Earth Conference, Asahi Shimbun, a sign of coexistence, built on exclusion. Ichikawa's comments criticized the Asahi Shimbun's Asahi Earth Conference initiative, which advocates coexistence, but excludes people with disabilities, and the Asahi Shimbun's unawareness of this. And I believe that his criticism was not limited to the Asahi Shimbun, but rather to the atmosphere of unawareness of exclusion that permeates society as a whole. What was shocking about the Hunchback and Ichikawa's comments regarding it was his strong criticism of our society, which is unaware of the exclusion of people with disabilities when it comes to reading. The fact that Ichikawa has to point this out at every opportunity shows how serious this unawareness is. As a member of the Japan PN Club's Freedom of Expression Committee, I discussed Ichikawa's concerns, and a debate between Ichikawa and PN Club President Natsuo Kirino took place. Last year, this expanded, leading to major movements such as the Japan Writers Association, the Japan PN Club, and the Mystery Writers of Japan Association declaring their commitment to addressing this issue, and publishing industry groups also issuing declarations. Online conversation with Ichikawa at the Japan PN Club. Ichikawa also appeared online at the Library General exhibition in Yokohama last fall, where she made recommendations for the library world's efforts to make reading accessible. The Hunchback author Ichikawa Saw pointed out that efforts to make reading accessible remain in general agreement. https://news.jp/expert/articles/5fadb79c409662 A0DD0B53580D720876686F21, and this article in the Asahi Shimbun also attracted a lot of attention. The phrase Japan is the country where the mass murder of disabled people occurred. Another thing that struck me when reading Ichikawa's article was his emphasis. Japan is the country where the horrific mass murder of disabled people, the Sagamihara massacre, occurred. Of course, Ichikawa has mentioned that incident many times before, but his way of referring to it this time seemed to go a step further. This phrase is similar to the way he emphasizes when discussing nuclear issues. Japan is a country that was directly affected by the Hiroshima and Nagasaki attacks. It shows that he is fully aware of the gravity of that incident. I would like to have death row inmate Satoshi Yumatsu, who was involved in the case, read Ichikawa's essay soon. As is well known, Yumatsu married a woman while in prison last year, and they are now in a relatively easy-to-interact environment. For details on the circumstances surrounding his prison marriage, please see my new book, Becoming a Family with a Death Row Inmate, So Publishing, which I edited. While the idea of a prison marriage itself may have come as a surprise to many, what shocked me even more was the fact that his spouse was disabled. Saw Ichikawa's social media post contact between Yumatsu and Saw Ichikawa. I should also mention that Yumatsu and Saw Ichikawa had some brief contact last year. Yumatsu obtained the much-talked-about book Hunchback through his prison chaplain and sent his thoughts about it to So. I wrote about this in the article below, but Yumatsu wrote, "As a death row inmate, I sincerely sympathize with Ichikawa Saw." In response, Ichikawa tweeted on social media, "Thank you so much for your sympathy. I hope you live a healthy life." https://news.jp/expert/articles/B2B5F64ECF8BCB426 A7, A4D6463CCD6873395955 Sagamihara case, inmate Yumatsu Satoshi's thoughts on the films Moon and Hunchback, and Ichikawa Saw's reaction. Furthermore, Yumatsu's use of the phrase, "as a death row inmate is quite subtle, and he is actually quite negative about the very existence of death row inmates. He drew a dualistic line between lives that have meaning and those that don't, describing the latter as those who have lost their minds, and death row inmates fall into this category. Soon after I began meeting him, I gave him a copy of my book, Expanded Edition, Documenting Death Row Inmates, Chikuma Bunko, to help him understand the realities of death row inmates. I was surprised when he told me he was opposed to keeping death row inmates alive with taxpayer funds. No, I was surprised because I thought, if things continue like this, you yourself will become a death row inmate. Since his death sentence was confirmed, He has been faced with the fundamental contradiction of being driven into the very existence he himself denied. Uematsu's prison marriage and his disabled wife. After his prison marriage, Uematsu has found himself caught in a spiral of contradictions, his attachment to life growing while his fear of death also intensifies. The other day, I was talking with author Rin Amamiya on her YouTube channel, Rin Amamiya's Simbero Sakaba, and we discussed what to do with the bodies of death row inmates after their execution. You can access the stream below. Becoming a family with a death row inmate. What a prison marriage can change. Hiroyuki Shinoda, editor-in-chief of So. Rin Amamiya Simbero Sakaba 20250828. If Mr. Uematsu were to be executed, the woman he married in prison would be contacted and she would claim his body, so I think I'll probably have to do a lot too. When Tsutomu Miyazaki, the Saitama serial killer, was executed, I was shocked, having known him for 12 years, and shed tears as I sorted through his belongings. Having been closely involved with Mr. Uematsu for nearly 10 years, it's clear that he would also be shocked. As I have written many times before, it is truly unfortunate that, as Mr. Ichikawa mentioned, the murder of a disabled person, which had such a profound impact on society, is gradually fading from memory without sufficient discussion or social lessons being learned. September 17th, Wed. Asahi Shimbun. September 4th, Shinoda Hiroyuki, editor-in-chief of Monthly. So Shinoda Hiroyuki, editor-in-chief of Monthly. So, was born in Ibaraki Prefecture in 1951. He graduated from Hitotsubashi University. He has been editor-in-chief of the monthly magazine, So, since 1981. He founded Sohan Publishing in 1982, and currently serves as its president. He has written a column titled Reading Weekly Magazines for the Tokyo Shimbun for over a decade. His column has also been reprinted in the Hokkaido Shimbun, Chugoku Shimbun, and other newspapers. He is vice chairman of the Japan Pen Club's Committee on Freedom of Expression and is a lecturer at Tokyo Keizai University Graduate School. His books include Documenting Death Row Prisoners, Expanded Edition, Chikuma Shinsho, and Lifelong Editor, Sohan Publishing, among many others, and he is a co-author. He specializes in media criticism, but has been involved with death row inmate Tsutomu Miyazaki, who has since been executed, for 12 years, and has been in contact with death row inmate Masumi Hayashi for over 10 years for the Wakayama-kuri incident. He has also published memoirs by many other people involved in the incidents, including the third daughter of former Aum leader Asahara, in So.